the thing about it, and why I say Southern Girl, is they're very forward. When they want to be, when they see something that they want, they're going to go after it. That's just what they do. And she said to him, "You must be my birthday present." Oh, that's cool.
The young actors were instantly taken with each other and spent the rest of the party together. Reese would tell Interview magazine years later that a green cocktail called a Midori Sour had something to do with it. But there was no denying the chemistry between the two. Phillippe left LA the next morning to shoot his next movie, I Know What You Did Last Summer, in North Carolina. And Witherspoon stayed in LA to shoot Pleasantville with Tobey Maguire. Witherspoon and Phillippe kept in touch by phone and email. When shooting on Phillippe's movie Wrapped, Reese's Pleasantville co-star Tobey Maguire convinced her to fly to North Carolina to surprise her new boyfriend. The pair went on a 3-day road trip and fell madly in love. A year later, they were living together in Los Angeles, and Ryan proposed.
Oh yeah, it was very personal and it was very romantic, and, you know, I think that's what makes the best proposals, is when they really come from the heart.
They took their togetherness a step further by signing on for the same movie, the 1999 psychological thriller, Cruel Intentions. At first, Witherspoon didn't want to do it. She had just done 3 movies back-to-back and was looking for a break. But Phillippe was convinced she was perfect for the script about teenage love and deception, and over dinner at a bistro in West Hollywood, he and director Roger Kumble talked Reese into it. Phillippe credited their off-screen relationship with helping him deliver one of the most heartfelt performances of his career.
There's this feeling that she could call me on any BS at any given second, you know what I mean? I felt like I really had to, I would be able to see it in her eyes if she thought I was doing something fake.
The script called for Phillippe's character to dump Witherspoon in a crucial scene. It proved to be an emotionally draining experience for both real-life lovers, which left Reese in tears during filming and Phillippe vomiting off camera. But in the end, it was worth it.
I really enjoyed it. It's sort of nice collaborating with the person that you feel very close with, because you feel like you can be very open.
Just being paid to be around the person you love is pretty cool too, and she's such a great actress, and she's really great in the movie. The movie turned out really, really excellent.
Cruel Intentions was a moneymaker at the box office and paved the way for another major film role. This time, Witherspoon would dominate the screen opposite Matthew Broderick in Election. But along with her runaway performance came her biggest career crisis yet. In 1999, Reese Witherspoon was a rising star in Hollywood. Audiences loved her in the twisted teenage romance Cruel Intentions, where she played opposite her real-life fiancé, Ryan Phillippe. Then she won the role of Tracy Flick, an ambitious candidate for high school president in Election.
I think everybody knows someone like that in their life, whether it be, you know, somebody they work with or somebody they went to school with. There's just someone always so endlessly irritating around to just bug you.
Witherspoon's portrayal of the irritating Tracy Flick included a scene where her character ices her name onto cupcakes in an attempt to win over the stomachs and votes of her classmates.
I think you've got to look at it and say there's a little bit of Reese in there, you know, because I think the best roles are the ones that are embellishments upon who they may really be. But she's not mean like that. But I mean, that was a very meaty role, and I think too many people believe that's who she was.
Behind the scenes, the former grade-A student was taking her own notes from her veteran co-star, Matthew Broderick.
He was so incredibly professional and not in the least bit jaded or cynical about it, and still really looked like he was having a wonderful time. And I think that's sort of the best lesson I could have gotten from working with him, that, you know, you just have to enjoy yourself.
By the time Witherspoon was doing interviews to promote the release of Election, she was pregnant with her first child with Ryan Phillippe.
Everything's going really well, and I'm glad to have a little break from work right now and be able to concentrate on my personal life for a little bit.
Even watching her now, from knowing her as a child to seeing her seg into becoming a mother, it just seems so right. It just makes sense. I don't know, she's just one of those old souls, and you could tell that even when she was young.
On June 5th, 1999, the couple married in a quiet ceremony on the banks of a river in South Carolina. They not only faced the challenges of making a strong marriage in Hollywood, they were about to become parents too. They welcomed their daughter, Ava Elizabeth, a few months after their wedding on September 9th, 1999.
I think it will affect my choices to a point. You try to be a little more responsible, and you know that what you're putting out into the world now affects, more than just yourself. It's, you got the child to consider.
I don't think I could imagine a better guy than the one I ended up with. I mean, I'm really, really lucky to have found such an amazing man and be married to him and have his kid, too.
Witherspoon loved being a wife and mother, but before long she wanted to work again. She says many producers claimed they wanted to hire her, but the studios wouldn't let them. She partly blamed the career slump on the extreme nature of her character in Election, and said it prevented producers from seeing her in more bankable roles.
Some of the folks in the studios, they didn't like her, and they kept her out of some movies, actually, because they saw the movie Election, and they thought that's who she was, which it really isn't.
Witherspoon accepted a part in American Psycho and played a recurring TV role as Jennifer Aniston's younger sister on Friends, while she searched for a part that would make her more marketable. Witherspoon was convinced that all she needed was one good script to prove she could compete with Hollywood's A-list. She told her manager and agent she would know it when she read it.
I just go write scripts I like, if I can find some sort of humanity, or I feel like I really can relate to that character, I feel like I know how to play that character. That's usually when I try it and get a job.
Then along came a role she could connect with about a fashionista who follows her boyfriend to law school to win him back. The movie was called Legally Blonde.
You have to have a sixth sense about how it's going to work. And there have been people cast in comedic roles that a month later they've replaced the actor with somebody else, and it just doesn't work. I'm sure that when she came across with that character, that they could see how wonderful it was, the same way we could see so many years ago when she was just a child what she was going to bring to the screen.
Witherspoon finally found the role she was looking for in Legally Blonde. She would play Elle Woods, a fashionista determined to show she not only had beauty, she also had brains. The role held personal meaning for the former debutante from the South.
She thinks sometimes she's discriminated against. She's from the South, and people do think you're stupid if you're from the South, and she'll talk about how women can always do more than people think they can, and she's a real champion for that. She wants to be able to go out there and prove that, we can do it, we're who we are, and I am woman, hear me roar.
The movie was made with an $18 million budget, but it brought in well over $100 million at the box office, and showed Reese's skills as a comedic actress and bankable leading lady. She told Interview magazine the role changed her career.
I don't think her family saw the magic, her husband saw the magic, maybe her agent saw the magic, but the bottom line is there was magic in Legally Blonde. It connected with the audience. It really did make her a big star.
The Southern Belle from Nashville hit box office gold with Legally Blonde. Reese Witherspoon was finally getting the recognition she wanted in Hollywood, and she planned to use it by forming her own production company and calling the shots on her future. Throughout her career, Reese Witherspoon showed her range as an actress with parts that went from young and innocent in The Man in the Moon to devious and sexy in Freeway. But like her ambitious character Tracy Flick in Election, Reese was motivated to rise to the top. What she really wanted was to be one of Hollywood's most in-demand actresses.
I've never met an actress that's successful that is not ambitious. It's like being a salesman or anything else. They're somewhat competitive. She's very ambitious.
Following her Legally Blonde success, Witherspoon's next role took her to London, where Ryan was also shooting Gosford Park with Robert Altman. Reese joined the very British cast of Rupert Everett and Colin Firth in Oscar Wilde's classic romantic comedy, The Importance of Being Earnest.
I could talk to Rupert all day and all night. He's so funny. And he's so fun to work with, but he's even more fun off screen, if you can imagine. He's great. He and Colin were just constantly talking and bickering. And
Dame Judi Dench added the crowning touch to Witherspoon's first British film experience.
I was really excited to work with her. And to be able to sort of do this piece of literature that, you know, is so steeped in tradition, and everybody loves this piece in England. You go over there and people read it in high school, and you're just like, oh, goodness, this is a big honor.
Witherspoon had to learn a British accent for her role, while at the same time husband Philippi was learning a Scottish accent for Gosford Park. Their 2-year-old daughter Ava was on location with them in London and kept the young parents busy when they weren't on the respective film sets.
She talks a lot about herself. Yeah. You know, that's what 2-year-olds think about a lot. Themselves. Sort of about me, me, me. It's cute. She's just great. She's like my best friend.